I'm Sam Castor, bald believer on Lex Lumina, where we talk about law and light, and we're here with the awesome Cannonball Vandana Bhalla, who just creates light wherever she goes, and we're excited to talk to her today. She was the boss lady at Leadership Las Vegas when I did that. She was in charge of all of keeping all of us with ADHD on task, which was a difficult thing.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and you were also the F-bomb guardian, right? Making sure that didn't happen too much, which I really appreciated. Even though it still happens sometimes. Yeah. People get raw. They get really open with each other.
They do.
And Vandana has an incredible story, and we're going to get into it, but she's also one of the most enthusiastic, charged, focused, purpose-driven people I know. She cares so much about helping others, connecting with others, and loving others. You really are an incredible woman.
Thank you.
And I'm so grateful you're here.
Thank you. I'm grateful to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Well, thank you for being here. So I have 3 questions.
Okay.
And we can also hit on anything else you want to hit on.
Okay.
But this is just like a very natural conversation because those are the best.
Yeah.
There's so much more real. So
I get it. Yeah.
So number 1 is, what do you believe in? Number 2 is, what is your why? And then number 3 is, what do you do to create light?
So I think that all 3 of those questions probably have a lot in common, right?
Great.
In so many ways.
And before we get there,
yeah.
I want to know, just for those who are watching, what does Vandana mean?
It means to pray to God.
See, which I think is a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
But now let's go from there. So what do you got?
So born in India, moved to the United States when I was 8, and then came to Vegas to follow a boy. Got into real estate randomly. It was the only thing I give my starter husband credit for.
Starter husband.
Yeah. Because I was actually following in your footsteps in a way. I was in law school. I was heading in that direction, and then decided that wasn't my calling. Surprisingly enough.
Well, I think you were smarter than me. I think what you did is you decided that you actually wanted to maintain the trueness of who you were.
I mean, I do love it. I'm going to be honest. There is a part of me that wants to go back and finish because I'm a finisher. I don't really like to leave things
go back.
unsettled.
Come take classes at Boyd.
My kids are still in school, so as soon as they're done with college, I'm either going to go back to law school or move to Italy. I haven't decided which one.
Well, if you go to law school, you should just come. You have a standing offer to come work with us.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
So I guess we can start with, what do I believe in, or
what do you
my
believe?
why? Let me start with my why.
Okay, let's start with the why.
Let's start with my why, because I think that drives everything, no matter what it is. It drives my belief. It drives all the things that impact me.
Yeah.
It's my kids, right? And I know that it sounds very cliche. Yeah, of course my why is my kids. This year, my biggest theme has been that I leave a legacy through them, and that they are my legacy. So, people consider I'm gonna create this legacy, and nobody really knows what that means, or they just say it, right, for the sake of saying it. For me, my children are my legacy, and it didn't hit me until a friend of mine was just you are these children that you are bringing up, that you are bringing into this world, the ones who walk a lady to the car every time someone leaves the house, that is, you're building your legacy through them. And I thought about it. No matter what I do, it's always about them. It's always how can I work more so we can travel more, so I can spend more time with them, so I can hang out with them, so I can have real conversations with them, so we can laugh and play. And who wants to build a pool in their house? Not me. I mean, it was a nightmare, but I did it for them. Who wants to do I don't know, work all day, all night? Not me, not you, probably nobody else, but it's for them. I think that is what drives pretty much everything I do.
I love that.
And the other theme song for me this year has been, how you do anything is how you do everything.
Ooh, I love that too. Yeah, please.
And so I've been,
unpack that.
Yeah, I've really been owning that this year. And every time somebody's like, God, you go all in. I'm like, because how I do anything is how I do everything.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what it is. It really doesn't. So when you talk about, being a curriculum chair for Leadership Las Vegas, a lot of that was because I had originally gone through the program and I was ready to get out of Vegas. I didn't want to raise my children here. I just thought this city was full of sin. And I didn't have family here. And, post-divorce, I was just like, God, I want more for my kids. And one of my best friends said, you need to go through Leadership Las Vegas. And I was like, oh, sounds like a cult. Like you're in a cult. Like which is,
it is a cult.
it is not a cult. I mean, it could be. It could be conceived as a cult. It's a little bit like a cult. Yeah. Did you drink the Kool-Aid?
The Kool-Aid. And I loved it. It was incredible.
Yeah.
Keep going.
So I said, fine, I'll apply. And if I get in, it's meant to be. If I don't, because they always say the class that you get into is the one that you're meant to be in. And so I thought, okay, if I get in, great. If I don't, it's not meant to be, and I'm ready to leave. And I got in. I got in the first time I tried, and I was super excited about it. And so I went in open-minded, all in, like 100% all in. Like when the first day of Gateway, I said to you guys, like, hey, go all in. Like whatever that looks like to you, just go all in. And it's how you do anything is how you do everything.
It's true. That's
right.
True.
And so
I'm like more like a 75% guy.
Yeah. I could see that. How do you, your famous question, every session day was revolved around how do we break up the school system?
Yeah.
I'm like,
well, that's true.
But we're at healthcare day. And you're like, yeah, how do we break up the school system? And I'm like, okay.
I was very focused on
how you do anything is how you do everything.
Yeah.
So
that's so true.
so I really went all in. I did not miss a single homework assignment. I went to every single one of them.
That's a ton of stuff.
It is a ton of stuff.
Just the amount of time alone is just
so much.
Huge
And
commitment.
I had little babies at the time. They weren't very old. They were early teens, even pre-teens. And so it was really hard because I had to continuously like make sure somebody was watching them and whatnot. But I ended up going to every single homework assignment. And then what I started in my year is what I continued to do year after year until our year, right? Which is, I did it then too, is I took every single person in the class to coffee or lunch or happy hour or dancing or whatever.
You even got me.
I even got you.
Yeah. I resisted.
You did. And I was like, hey, this is not something that you're allowed to miss. It's kind of, it's more about me than it is about you, but because I gotta make sure, I want to make sure I do it because I want to hear your story. Yeah. I wanted to know where you came from. I think that's so important. So going back to, I think, again, all three of those questions, whichever, I can answer it the same way, I think, is that I want to hear people's stories. I want to know where people come from. I think everybody has something about them that brought them to who they are today. Yeah. And everything they did prior to that is a lesson, not just for them, but for everybody else that's around them. And I just really love hearing where you came from and, what brought you to today.
Yeah, I love that. Well, and I could tell. I mean, you're very authentic. You're very focused on connecting and caring. Yeah. And it shows. I mean, everybody wanted to be a part of that process because of you. Everyone bought into the idea because they felt your passion and your enthusiasm.
Thank you.
For sure.
Thank you.
So what do you do to help people share their story when you get someone like me who kind of resists? And mostly, I should be clear, I'm very open and enthusiastic most of the time. I just had a lot of stuff going on too at that time of my life. So how do you help people open up? What are some of the tricks that you use to get to that story?
Honestly, I'm like, hey, can we just go for coffee? And, the answer is yes. And I'm like, start from the beginning. You were born. And then it just goes from there.
People just open up.
You were born. And then, I just, as people talk, well, tell me about that. Like, how did you meet your wife? How did you, when did you have kids? How old are they? What do you love to do? What are the things that you enjoy? Like, I really just want to hear kind of, where did you go to college if you did? And why did you choose there? And, where's your family from? What are some fun things that you did? It's just, I don't know. I just ask a lot of questions because I'm naturally inquisitive about that.
You are very good at that.
I just ask.
So let's do that to you a little bit right
now.
Oh
boy.
Okay. So tell me about you mentioned briefly Starter Husband, Vegas, City of Sin. Oh, okay, I'll do leadership.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Well,
because you have an incredible story. Keep going.
So I went through Leadership Las Vegas, completely open-minded, going all in. I met some of my best friends today from that program. Okay. And when I finished, so Leadership Las Vegas is a peek behind the curtain. It's everything Las Vegas, right? In every single category. And as I went through the program, I thought, God, there's so many ways that I can actually plug in. And one of my friends, Colleen, was the chairwoman for Junior Achievement at the time. And she called me one day and I'm like, we were just talking and she's like, I'm going to San Diego tomorrow. I'm like, for what? And she goes, I want to go check out BizTown, which is this program that Junior Achievement is considering bringing to Vegas. And I thought, okay, how long are you going for? She's like, a day. I'm like, I'm hopping on the plane with you if that's okay. So I canceled all my appointments the next morning for the next day, and I just hopped on a plane with her. We went to San Diego together.
You're all in.
I'm all in. I
You were
walked
like,
in.
let's go.
I walked into BizTown. Have you ever been to a BizTown? Oh
no.
my God. I walked into a BizTown and my eyes and like were just like, I mean, fully open. Like I was a kid in a candy store. It is the most impressive thing I've ever seen when it comes to like education for kids. There's a lot of things that we do, and I'm not going to say right, in our school system because I know your audience, Vandana.
No, they're incredible people. They're
Yes,
incredible
yes,
teachers.
yes.
They're incredible administrators. There are people who sacrifice their lives for
Yeah.
kids. That is a beautiful, wonderful thing. I never want to discount that. So I agree with you.
Yeah, so there's some things that we do really well in our school system.
Yeah, for sure.
The one thing that we do not do really well is teaching kids how to actually be adults. Like to actually, I don't know, balance a checkbook. Do they still have those anymore? To like, make sure that they're financially literate. And that's what, as they grow older, I think there's a lot of things that we miss the ball on for that.
And I think that's across the board. I think that's most schools.
Yeah. So I was like, this is exactly what I want to be a part of. And so I came back, I met with the CEO, president of Junior Achievement, Michelle Jackson, and I told her I said, I really want to be involved in Junior Achievement under one condition. She said, what? And I said, I want Junior Achievement to bring BizTown to Las Vegas. Like that needs to be on the forefront of our mission for the next like 10 years. And she was like, okay, that can happen. So full circle moment for me. This started during Leadership Las Vegas when I went through the program in 2016 and 17. I graduated in 17. And full circle moment 2 years ago, I was sitting in the escrow company as the secretary of Junior Achievement, signing the docs to purchase the building.
Oh, wow.
To open BizTown. Like it still gives me chills.
Yeah.
Right? I'm sitting there and I looked at Michelle.
And you made it happen.
I looked at Michelle, and I listen, there's so many people behind that, right? There were so many things that had to happen, so many people that were part of that process. But I'm sitting there with Michelle and I looked at her and I go, do you remember when we first sat down for lunch, I told you that this was one of the like goals? And the fact that I'm the one that's sitting here signing the documents to buy this building, it's a full circle moment for me.
Wow.
And in that moment I was like, Leadership Las Vegas was worth every like second I spent in it.
Wow.
The people that I met, the things that I got involved in, and there were other organizations that I became a part of that I really understood and learned to like and continue to volunteer for. Junior Achievement is the one that I've sort of stuck it out with. So
yeah. Well, so it's still happening.
We opened doors last year.
Wow.
We opened
I did not
the
know
doors
that. That's incredible.
last year. Yeah.
So how many students do you help, or what's the process look like?
About 50 to 60,000. So our goal is to go even bigger. Wow. So like all of the schools have an opportunity to come into BizTown and learn. So there's Finance Park, and then there's BizTown. BizTown is like a day in the life of. So there's a lot of businesses throughout that have storefronts in BizTown. There's a mayor of the town. And it's one of the kids.
That's
and
so
everybody
cool.
has a job.
I remember you telling me about this now, but now it's clicking. So like this is basically an opportunity to be exposed to all these different ways to do business. Okay.
Correct. Ways to do business. If you want to work, if you want to go to school, if you want to be the mayor, if you want to, you could get involved in any way through BizTown. You go through interviews, you create resumes, you get taught a bunch of stuff about how to do real life.
Yeah.
And then you go work for a day. You take breaks during the day. And then you sit down and you have a town hall meeting, and it's brilliant. It really is. So that's one of the ways that BizTown is being used. And then there's Finance Park. Finance Park is, so we're calling it the Inspiration Center, by the way, that houses both Finance Park and BizTown.
And where's this at? This is in downtown
In
Vegas?
Tropicana. It's off of Tropicana and the 95.
Okay.
So southeast.
Yeah, that's a nice location too. It's
a great. It used to be an old
access.
24-hour fitness building or whatever. So
that's awesome.
So it was great. And then Finance Park. So this was a really like, I don't know, did it for me, is that my son was, when he was in middle school, he actually went to Finance Park and I volunteered for the day. I brought my entire team and, we helped the kids. And they're looking at different scenarios. So they've been assigned, for instance, my son was assigned as an accountant who was a single dad who had 2 kids and lived off of like an $80,000 a year income. right?
Okay.
So then he had to make like real life decisions about what he was going to spend that money on.
Wow, yeah.
Is he going to go buy that Porsche? Probably not.
Probably not. That's the whole salary.
And then, is he going to go get groceries? And how does he go decide how much groceries he's going to get, and the taxes that he's going to have to pay, and the insurance that he's going to have to pay, and the things that all the decisions that we make as adults every single day, right? So it's kind of interesting to have these kids really like look behind the curtain of like what their parents are going through, the day in a life of, and it opens up a lot of eyes for these kids where they're just like, oh my God, I can't buy that red Porsche, but no, you can't. No. Not on that salary.
Yeah.
You've got to go get a second job. You've got to go. So like the next time, he asks like, hey mom, can I go for dinner at this, for sushi? Here's the decision that I have to make. So can I do this, or I can do, like, it's a lot easier to have those conversations after they've gone through something like Finance Park. So
that's incredible. So how does a kid sign up for that? I have 5 kids, and I'm like, sign me up right now.
Are they? I'm scared to ask.
They're
are they
all
in
in
the
public
school system or
they're
public
all
school?
public school.
So the public school.
You're scared. No, I want to ask a question. I'm like 1,000% in on the school system. Like, it's like, let's figure this out. I just don't want the system to be more important than the kids.
I get it.
Which is one of the things I'm a drum beater on. So
nope, I get it.
Yeah. So go ahead.
So the school itself, the principal, the parents can all ask the principal, like, hey, can we have this in the school?
Have you guys done it at Palo Verde or Sig Rogich or any of that?
Sig Rogich, yes. Palo Verde, I believe, is coming on board, and then there's a couple. So there are definitely a couple of schools that you'd be surprised.
That is so cool that you are doing that.
The other thing that we do is JA in a day, where every single year. So there's kids who have had JA from the day that they were kindergarten.
Junior achievement.
Junior achievement, yeah. So JA in a day is every single year they go through a curriculum, a one-day curriculum where volunteers go into the classroom and actually teach on that curriculum. So like when they start in kindergarten, the curriculum is needs and wants. Like, do you need this?
Yeah, the difference.
Do you want this?
Yeah.
Right? And what's the difference? And how do you decide?
This is like an essential adult function.
So you start with it, right? You just most adults don't know the difference. So you start there.
Yeah.
And then you continue slowly going to other aspects of finance.
So the kids in high school or junior high, they actually go help teach that class?
They could.
Yeah.
They could potentially. Yeah. And then it's usually volunteers like in the community. So like you could go do JA in a day.
I see.
So like what I did was I said, hey, I looked at Michelle and I said, I need a curriculum that's really good for real estate. That would be real estate driven. And so that's grade 3. So grade 3 is all about taxes and buying property and blah, blah, blah. And so we go in and we teach about, hey, you've got to pay your taxes for this property. And this is how you do it. So we teach small little curriculums throughout the year. So by the time a child goes from kindergarten, if they're in the same school, all the way up to about 8th grade, they've gone through just about every aspect, and they've done Finance Park and BizTown, and they've gone through J in a Day every single year. So
and been given this exposure to all this wisdom and understanding. And wow.
And there's a curriculum prior to as well. So
wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
I hope that my kids can do it. My oldest is his name's Peter. He's 6'8".
Yeah.
He's a tall kid. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And he just graduated from Palo, and so I look at that and go, oh, maybe it's too late for him, but
he could go volunteer too.
Yeah, what an incredible opportunity.
And then we also have open days where parents want to bring their kids into into BizTown. They can actually go into our facility and do that. So I'll let you know when that is.
Okay, so who's funding all of this?
The community.
Wow, so this is like donations from.
So we do, we just had Swimming with the Big Fish recently, which was like a Shark Tank, but for the kids in 5th grade. And
what?
So they came up. It was a cool.
That must have been so cool.
It was so cool. Yeah. So we pick a school, and then the kids come in with their ideas, innovative ideas on projects that they want, and they get scholarships.
That's incredible, because I genuinely believe that children come knowing there's something. They come with these gifts or these purposes, and it's like, how do we make sure that we're making room for them to be able to become who they're supposed to become, to change the world, right? Yeah, make it better. So that's really cool.
So I think everything starts with the kids, right? So when you ask me like, what's my why? What's the impact? What do I believe in? It's everything starts with the kids.
Okay.
And I just, like there was a lot of things that I didn't learn when I was growing up, and I kind of had to learn from, School of Hard Knocks and growing up doing my thing. And I think that there's better ways.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, and so I have to say this, because as we're talking, I'm getting this visualization, and I feel like I should just say this about you, because it's something that's so obvious to me as I've gotten to know you and just even talking now. some people say that like life is like a ripple, right? Like you go in and
Yes.
you're causing ripples. And I mean this in the most beautiful, wonderful way possible. I feel like you're like a cannonball. Like you just come in.
I will take it.
You're like, I'm all in and splash, right? And it's like, I'm going to do everything I can to affect as many, and honor and love and help as many people as possible. And that's a wonderful thing.
thank
about
you.
For sure.
I'm actually going to rename myself. So my company, they call me the Hammer, but I think the Cannonball just as destructive, but
For
I think it's
sure.
just way better.
Way
I'm just
cooler.
I'm going to be the
Way
Cannonball
cooler.
from now on.
Okay, I love it. Do
I'm
it.
taking away. I'm
Do
taking
it.
away the Hammer.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So now you also picked. I mean, you have this. Clearly, where you are right now is this this current. You've been on this path because you started in India, and I actually tease. I joke with my team. I'm like, she's gonna come with white tigers. Like she's gonna have this energy, right?
Yeah.
So you picked that for our leadership class.
I did.
With Leadership Las Vegas with the chamber. And so tell me about why you picked the white tiger, and then but then I really want to get into like. You have this rich cultural heritage. Your name means pray to God. And then you also you're reaching out for connection with all these people. Like, I want to get into more about like what you really believe. Like, and I know you say it's all about the kids and stuff, but let's kind of go along that path a little bit. Does that make sense? Is that too much?
Yeah. No, that's great. That'll work. I'm going to do my best.
Okay.
White tigers. Why did I pick the white tigers? For so many reasons. I think that they are beautiful animals. I think that they are misunderstood.
They're
and
regal. They're very regal.
They are very regal,
Yeah.
and that was one of the other reasons. And also because I think they're fierce, but like this quiet fierce. You know, like if you just look at a white tiger, most of the time they're just sitting around. They're not being badasses. They're just sitting around until they need to be a badass, and then they step up, and then they go.
Don't
They
miss.
go all in.
Yeah.
They do not mess up. They just go all in, and they're like, listen, I own this. And it's funny because like this year's class is the lions, and I'm like, tigers roar louder. Like I was just like, I mean, our class was crazy in comparison. They're so much tamer, and I just feel like
really?
we had a lot of energy. And that's the other thing is that tigers, I think, have a lot of energy. And I just love how beautiful they are, and how calm they are, and then how misunderstood they can be until they.
Yeah. So what do you mean by that? About being misunderstood? Because I just see a tiger, I'm like, you don't want to mess with a tiger.
Because of what you've been told about it, right? But like you've probably watched a tiger, in movies or shows, and you know that it, can cut off your head or bite off your neck or whatever,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And so you've come with the realization that that's what the white tiger is.
That's fair.
But if you really look at the white tiger, I mean, it's just calm. It is just, I don't know how to explain it. Like all it wants to do is just kind of hang out.
Just be. Yeah.
Right? Like,
No, that's actually beautiful because I'm a big believer in Jesus Christ, and one of the titles he has is I am.
yeah.
And so it's that idea of just being, right?
Yeah.
And there are people that will walk into a room and will change the room without saying or doing anything. Just their presence changes everything.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's a cool, deeper understanding for me of why you picked that. You want someone who's transformative. They change the environment. They're not defined by it. They define it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
Well, I think you're doing that.
Thank you.
For sure.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so keep going. So
That's it. That's all I got.
well, no. So what was the belief set that you had in India? And then you've hinted at it. It's like, oh, you came here to Vegas. You're like, oh, full of sin, and now you've been transforming into this different understanding of the world. And
yeah, I believe that we all are in a path to change our environment, change who we are, change the people around us, change people for the better. I feel like we are these beings that just transform over time.
yeah,
And every single person that walks into our life and every single situation that happens changes us just a little bit. And so like my belief is that I can take what happens and that's one of my other sayings over the last like year and a half has been like, things don't happen to me, they happen for me.
yes,
And no matter who it is, no matter who walks into my life, good, bad, or ugly, there's been some crazies in my life, and especially as I'm like on the path of dating right now.
oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, just speaking on behalf of the male sex, I apologize.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of every single person, good, bad, or ugly, every situation that happens, every incident that occurs, there is a reason that it is happening. And I am going to believe in whatever that's for. It doesn't matter. I'm going through some, I've going through some stuff this year, and I'm not really like, but everything happens for a reason. And I'm truly, like, I truly believe that.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I do too. I love that, and I felt that from you when I first met you, that you saw the purpose.
Yeah.
And there's purpose in pain. There's purpose in discomfort, right? And I think I've told you a little bit about how about 6 months ago I found out I had a couple brain tumors, and I believe I know that I signed up for it. I know that it's like I wanted to go through what I call celestial weightlifting. It was like, oh, this is
I love that.
it's gonna open up my soul. It's gonna help me have more empathy. And for me, it was about, I was like, if this is the price I have to pay to know God better and to have more compassion for people around me, I will pay this. Is it hell? Absolutely. Was it one of the hardest things I've ever done? 100%. But now I can look at people and I can go, I feel you. I see you, right? And I can, even right now when we talk about it, I can feel the light of that, and it tastes good. So,
that's amazing.
So what do you do to create that type of light, or what have you found that creates that brings light into your life?
I have, I spend a lot of time in gratitude. In fact, before my feet hit the ground every single morning, I'm in gratitude.
And how does that look for you?
It's usually just, I'm so grateful to be awake this morning. I'm so grateful for, the kids who are sleeping in the room next door to me. I'm so grateful for the water that's running in my faucet. I'm grateful for, my feet being able to take me from here to the shower. I'm grateful for the food that's in my fridge.
It's all a miracle to me. Yeah, I agree.
It is.
Yeah.
And so I wake up in gratitude, and I've been doing this for actually a couple of years. There's a couple, I actually have what I call the daily focus that I do on a daily basis. It includes the gratitude, it includes affirmations, which is conscious self-creation. And then it includes sort of like reviewing what I have to accomplish for the day. I spend a lot of time in really creating my weeks and my months and my years. And so.
And does that mean you like visualize them and you like write down?
Oh, you should see my calendar. It would drive you insane. I have friends that are like, that gives me anxiety. And I'm like, I can't have it any other way.
Yeah.
But
it's very intentional.
It is my whole life is built around intention. Sure. Everything I do is intentional. I try not to half-ass things, because how I do anything is how I do everything.
I love that. Yeah, for sure. Okay, but keep going on that. So you do gratitude.
Yeah.
And
so
you do
I start,
affirmations.
I start with gratitude, and really just some time, like just saying thank you to God for a lot, for bringing the people in my life that are in my life, or for letting me be healthy, for letting me have have these incredible boys in my life, for my family and my friends and the people. I mean, like I can't tell you how recently now I've just been like really connecting. And so maybe it's a good thing that I'm sort of taking a pause on the dating thing, because I've really spent time like reconnecting with my friends from high school.
Sure. And
I am just in this like, I'm in this full mode of gratitude right now with all of the people that have touched me in my life in some way.
Yeah.
And it's
that's
just been,
That's
and I've been traveling a ton. Like 2 weeks ago, I woke up and I was like, I don't really have anything going on this weekend, because it was a last minute thing. The kids ended up going, going with their dad for something. And so I was like, I'm just going to pack my bags and I'll figure out where I'm going later.
Where'd you go?
Headed to the airport. I actually ended up in Utah.
You did?
I did.
Yeah.
I ended up in Utah. I went to go have dinner, and then my brother's like, where are you going? And I would, because, we're checking in with each other, and he's like, where are you going? I'm like, Utah. He's like, why don't you just come to LA? And I'm like, I could. Yeah, let me see. And then I looked, and I'm like, there's a flight leaving in an hour. I'll call you back.
So you went to Utah, then LA?
Yeah, then went to LA, then ended up in LA for the day. And so it was just like one of those things. I was in 3 cities in less than 24 hours.
Wow.
Shit.
That's a lot of flying.
But also it's great. Like Southwest makes it easy.
That's true.
And I have the capacity to do it.
Yeah.
This is the wonderful thing about my life right now,
the fluidity.
And I'm so grateful for it. Like I can get up and go, and so I'm grateful for being able to do experiences like that. And quite honestly, like I've got trips planned with the kids, and they're going to Japan, and then we're going to Spain, and then we're like.
You've been working a lot, and now you can travel a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool. So what are some of the core things that I refer to them as, and we had this conversation with Satema,
Okay.
about 3 weeks ago, and he was telling me some of the things he says to himself, like his positive affirmations.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Which
Yeah.
is really cool. And I call them core truths, like the things that I say that fill me with light. What are some of the things that you say that if you're willing to share them?
I'm an amazing, loving, caring, present, patient mother who always makes time for my children, consistently shows them love, and provides them with a safe, judgment-free environment to express who they are and how they feel. I'm a beautiful, sexy, strong, fit, and healthy bombshell who fuels my body with healthy foods.
I love it.
Yeah, I love with all of me. I am. And then so what I did was I took all the things and then I broke them up into different categories.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
so
yeah.
I have a category for conscious self-creation with my children. I have a category for conscious self-creation about myself. I have a category for conscious self-creation about me with my finances, about me with the man of my dreams,
Yeah,
which is always the hardest one for me to go. So I'm like, "Bleh." Like it just. Who I'm gonna be, who that man's gonna be. It's just, it's the hardest thing for me. But I know one day that's gonna be it. Like,
So on that point, I
you want to talk about my dating life?
No,
Let's
no,
go.
no, 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 no. But I do want to talk about this. So because I teach an institute class. It's like a religion class for people who are in college.
Okay. Who want to date?
Who want to date? No, who want to date?
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
for real. Yeah, for real. And
Joking.
yeah, no, and it's like they're like 18 to like I think it's like 35 or something like that.
Okay.
Okay, and then there's because
Do you have anything for older?
we do. Yeah, you're welcome to come. You're welcome to come. You would definitely create a stir because your white tiger presence would be felt. And I have to tell you right now, not every guy's obviously, as you know, is at the level that you're at, and so that's what makes it hard, right? Because I think what happens is, and I believe this with my whole soul: light attracts light, virtue attracts virtue. If you want to find the right person, you have to be the right person.
Yeah.
And I had to do that myself when I found my wife. I had to get myself into a place where I'm like, no, I'm going to be all in on being me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna anchor in, and I'm gonna start to refine who I am. And she's put up with me more than I've put up with her, right? Like because I'm ADHD all over the place, crazy person, doing 1,000 things. But at the end of the day, it's about harmonizing. And in order to harmonize, you have to sing your note right, right? You have to be true to you. And so I think it's beautiful that you're doing that. You're like, I'm gonna be me.
Yeah.
And then I think that person will come.
Yeah.
I think that's to me, that's the be all end all of existence, is finding the person because I think heaven is for duets. It's not for solos.
Yeah, I agree.
Right?
I agree.
That's happiness.
I
right?
love that. I love that. I'm going to use that.
Do it.
I am.
I have a whole blog post about this idea because it's like, there's actually this idea that sometimes, the enmeshment idea where you get entangled in relationships or you rely too much on someone else for your own personal value.
Yeah.
Instead, I think it's kind of like trees where when you do find that right person, you get married. And it's kind of like this plant, right? Like there's two trees planted next to each other. Our roots entangle, which is beautiful. Our ancestors are rooting for us. And our trunks, though, they need to stay independent, connected but independent. And then our branches are what bear the fruit together.
Oh, I love that.
Right? But that's
I love that.
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
I think that to me, that is ultimate divinity, is harmonizing those two energies, harmonizing the paradox of male, female, and heart and mind. So I have faith that you're going to do it. And I bet
I need a trunk.
Well, right? We each need our own trunk.
I need a trunk.
Yeah, we need to be the trunk, and then everything flows. So,
Yeah.
but I have in my mind's eye, I have this vision of this awesome guy that you're just gonna be like so happy with.
I love it. I'm hoping. I mean, I know it's
coming.
It's definitely out there for me.
He's there. Yeah.
I will say, and you mentioned Satema. He was actually very instrumental in a lot of like the way that I've sort of shifted over the last 3 years. So in 2021, I went through his program.
Sure.
Shield Maiden. I don't know if you talked about it at all.
A little bit. We talked about it a little bit. Yeah.
He stopped doing it, which I think, I mean, there's a good
That's
and
a sin,
bad.
yeah.
I know there's good and bad because I went through the program in June. I graduated June 11th, 2021, and then in November he called and he was like, "I want you to come coach for us." I'm like, "No." I go, "It's not my thing." And he goes, "You're going to be great at it. You're going to love it." And I said, "Okay." So I went through and I was like, "Wow, I'm really great at yelling at people." So this is that was like
Lovingly.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, like it was funny because like I'm friends with a lot of the girls that went through the program, and they were like, "God, you were like I was so scared of you day one.
White tiger.
And then day 2. And then day 3, when you smiled, I was like, is this for real? Because I was like, no smiling for like the first 2.5 days, which is great.
Yeah.
But I went through the program and I'd already been doing affirmations. I just reinvented the conscious self-creation with him, and then the gratitude, and then, really setting my year up, right, for success, my next 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. But I remember walking into that room, and so this sort of goes back, when I first got there, it goes back to the questions that you asked, and he said, why are you here? Like, what is the purpose? Like, why are you here? And I'm like, I'm here because when you think about, when people say like, hey, who was your mentor? Who was somebody that you look up to that you wanted to be like? And I was like, I think about it, and I don't think I have anybody in my life that was like that.
Really?
Like for my entire life, there was not somebody that I was like, God, I want to emulate that person, or that's the person that I want to be like, and I wasn't a big reader. I didn't watch a lot of, or read or even listen to podcasts or whatever. It was just music, and I enjoyed life. And I thought, in that moment, I was like, I want to be in the top 5 for my kids. I don't need to be number 1, but I want to be in their top 5. Like I want them to be like, I look up to my mom. Like she's.
That's heavy.
Yeah. So that was like my main purpose for going through the program. So I remember saying that to him, and I had the same emotions around it. Like I really want my kids to look up to me and say, I loved having you as a mother and as a role model in my life. And so,
like the strength, I think, is not a veneer, but I think it's that presence.
Yeah.
That white tiger presence.
Thank you.
For sure.
Thank you.
But it's that dichotomy. It's that duality of you have that strength because you have that love.
Yeah.
You couldn't have the strength you have unless you had that love.
Yeah. Thank you.
For sure.
I appreciate that.
No, I can feel it in you. I can feel it.
So that's how I started the program, and then everything I did for the next 2.5 days was like literally just made me come back to that. Like, is this going to be, if I stop right now, are my kids going to be proud of me? If I stop right now, if I quit this moment, and my kids going to be proud of me? Am I going to be the role model that I said I was going to be for them? And so like I just continued that like throughout. And so I'm pretty structured sometimes to my detriment, but I think that it's gotten me to where I am today.
Oh, I love
like
that.
It really has. That experience for me set the tone for the next chapter of my life.
Thank you so much for that. Okay, so this is a hard question, and I'm asking it for myself as much as for you. You don't want to give up. You don't want to disappoint.
Yeah.
Some of my personal deepest sorrows are when I've lost it with my kids, or when I've made a mistake, or when I've been too focused on something other than them. I mean, it happened this morning with my daughter. She is, we have 5. She's the only one without ADHD. She's like the only sane person.
So far.
Yeah, well, yeah. Who knows if we'll taint her. She's incredible. Her name's Alina, and Alina means to comfort or to succor someone, like to give nourishment to someone. And she does that to the whole family. She's just such a peacemaker. And I can be, when I'm busy, I can be critical, or I can be rushed, or I make mistakes. And she needed a ride, and I was like, oh, you should have told us sooner. And she had, and I have ADHD, and I didn't hear her, right? So it's like, so immediately I'm like, oh, this pang of regret. Oh, I've made a mistake. And that's, I think, the hardest thing as a parent is when you wound your kids or when you're not there for them.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that? I mean, like, what's your belief set around where does the grace come in?
I'm never wrong.
Well, neither is my wife.
There's that.
My wife's never wrong either.
No. It is the hardest thing. In fact, I was telling you earlier that I'm going through some stuff this year, and one of them relates to my kid, one of my sons, and it's this mentality of I'm always right, and I know better, or I know more.
How old is he now?
18.
Oh yeah.
So let's be real. Like, come on.
Yeah,
I mean, there's moments that like he's a smart kid. I know he's a smart kid, and I'm not no discounting any. He's an incredible human being.
He's your son.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He's an incredible human being. We have been struggling because he's battling for control of his life, and I'm like, I mean, yeah, you might be 18 or an adult according to to the country, but
You're emancipated, but not really.
right. So we're going through this battle right now. Do you have any kids that are 18 or older?
Almost 18.
Yeah. So it's hard.
It's a struggle.
It really is, because you want to give them. In fact, you spent your entire life teaching them to. And I remember saying this to someone. I was like, I have spent my entire life teaching my son to be independent. And now that he is,
You're like, wait a minute.
yeah, I'm like, I don't know if that's, if you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
I've taught him to be a man, and now I'm just like, I really want you to be my baby. Like, I don't want you to grow up. I want you to be, you know. And there's a little bit of sadness because of his, you know, him growing up, but also a lot of pride because I know he's an incredible kid.
You've been working on giving him the power and the tools to be a man.
Yeah.
And there's a it's interesting because there is this balance between control and freedom, right?
Yeah.
So what's one of the things that you do to ensure that you're giving them that space? I mean, we need to let kids make mistakes. We need to let kids.
Listen, I know, so I'm an entrepreneur. I know that there's some trauma attached to success.
Yeah,
I get that.
Yeah.
I mean, I tell my kids, I'm like, I should have beat you. Like, I think I screwed up. Like, because, you know, they come into this life because I had trauma. Sure. I think I don't want my kids to suffer, and so I'm going to give them everything. And I don't know if that's the right. I know that's not the right.
It's not right. It's
right.
Not
so I'm
right.
like, how do I teach them a lesson without making them suffer? And I don't know if it's possible. So I think this is part of the process.
Yeah, I agree.
I think him and I going through is part of the process. I think it happens. It's happening for him. Whatever that looks like. It's also happening for me. You know, I have a younger one that's 2 years younger that's also watching all of this, and I'm like, don't you dare act that way.
Yeah.
It's just like, listen, Mom. And he's just like this calm kid. My older one and I, like, we're constantly, we're the same. We're literally the same person.
I'm sure. Yeah. And
so
he's learning from that. The younger one's learning from that.
Yeah.
Well, and there's something about that, like that we do gain wisdom from the wisest people gain wisdom from the difficulties others go through, right?
Yeah. Well, mostly if they're smart. They don't have to go through it themselves.
For sure.
They will go through it. They watch others and
But some of us have to.
Some of us have to do it. Yeah.
Beat our heads against the wall. Well, and I've it's funny when I wrote a book a while ago, and I remember waking up early in the morning, and I was exhausted, wanted to go back to bed. About being all in. It's this muscle you develop, right? And I heard this voice say, because I was like, I'm going to go back to bed, and I heard this voice say, discomfort is the currency of heaven. And I was like, okay. Bleary-eyed, 4 in the morning. Okay, I'm going to go keep writing my book.
Yeah.
How do you teach kids that, to go through the hard things, to go through the discomfort?
I don't think you can. I really don't. I think that you set an example, and you hope that they even get a portion of it or watch you, or you. And I truly believe leading by example is the way to teach your kids how to, if I tell them not to yell, and I'm yelling at them, what am I? I'm not teaching them anything.
Yeah.
Right. But if I'm sitting down every Sunday and I am putting together, like, for instance, I write books and classes, right, all the time. I do handbooks and stuff for students, for real estate agents and executives. I have a coaching program. And so I remember when I first started, I was like, I'm going to put this coaching program together and I'm going to do it by the end of the year. And when I think about it, it seems so like, oh my God, this sounds like
huge.
So much work, because you have to have so many classes that are ready to go so that you can launch quickly.
It's a big lift. Yeah.
It is a big lift. And so I took it, I broke it down, and I said, okay, if I want to do this in a year and I want to have 10 classes by the end of the year, in order to do that, I've got 12 months left, right? Or 10 months left. I do one a month, and then it's going to take me, they're going to be this many pages. I've got to write this many pages a day. And so I was reading I was watching a podcast, and it was Atomic Habits, the gentleman who wrote Atomic Habits.
Oh, yeah,
right?
for sure, yeah.
And he says that a lot of people, they don't understand, or they miss the idea of how important 5 minutes a day can be.
That's huge.
Or 7 minutes a day can be. And so when you think about like writing a book or writing a class or anything you want to accomplish, or getting to the point where, because my big goal when I first came out of Shield Maiden was I'm going to pay off my house. I mean, I just bought it 6 years ago. I'm paying off my house.
What a great goal.
And so I did it in less than 6 months.
What?
Yeah. It
Wow.
was crazy because I just set a goal and I was like, this is what I need to do. This is how much I need to put down. This is how much I need to stop buying shoes and I need to just pay off my house.
I know you have a lot of shoes.
And then yes, my shoes are my thing, right? And then I went back to buying shoes. So then
and then you had more.
I have more money to buy my shoes because I don't have to pay mortgage.
Yeah.
So I just set a goal and I just slowly said, okay, this is what I need to do. It's the power of the 5 minutes or the 7 minutes and just taking that over the course. And if I continue to do that, my kids will see it. And my kids will then hopefully learn it.
Yes, I think so. I think you model that for sure.
Yeah, I think that's the only way to really teach it to them because they have to learn a lot of things themselves because they know better.
Yeah, I know. I agree with you on that. In fact, if anything, I think that's actually where something like ADHD or, you have this high energy, you want to do stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's where it can be really valuable because if you do that with 100 different things every day, like I'm going to do 5 minutes of this, I'm going to do 5 minutes of this and 5 minutes of this, you can accomplish so much stuff, especially today where we have digital, extended reach where we can do all these, we can just text somebody or write down this thing or, So.
If you haven't done anything with AI, you're missing out.
I know. That's true.
I started to teach classes. So about 2 years ago, I had decided, like when I first heard about AI, I'm like, this is going to be my jam. I'm going to teach this and I'm going to teach it all across the country. And so I started learning everything I could about AI, like everything human.
I didn't know this about you. That's so cool.
So I slowly went in, I started, I'm like, okay, ChatGPT, the obvious, right? Now let's go into Canva. Now let's go into, so I take
Which
all
one
of
do you
these
like the
different
best?
tools. ChatGPT, if you use it right, can automate your life to a degree that you can't. Like I have tasks that are built in. Like it's working right now, doing tasks for me. I'm not even. Am I near a computer? Am I near a computer? I'm not near a computer. I don't know. Right? Like it's doing work for me. So
okay,
it's
you're gonna have to come
stuff.
teach our law firm about how to use some of that
It's
stuff.
creating things for me on a daily basis so that before I wake up, it's ready to go. It's got my tasks ready. I've shared it with my assistant. It shares it with my assistant. Like there's so many things that I'm working on right now that I can get accomplished. And then as soon as I taught my assistant how to do it, I get more accomplished before in a day than most people do. Now it's like take 10 people, put them in a room. I'm getting more done than they are in an hour.
Wow.
Than they are in a day.
It's
it's
so
incredible.
Cool. That is so cool.
Yeah. So I've really I've really taken AI on. It's now my jam and I'm teaching it across the country. Wow. So like I'm going to New Mexico to teach it. I'll be in Michigan teaching it, in Florida teaching it, in Texas.
So what are your
teaching
top
it,
3 tips on AI?
On AI? Well, first of all, I think the most important part is that just don't be scared of it. It's not replacing you. It's not.
No, it's not.
I think people are so scared that AI is going to take over.
No.
And they're like, if I tell it all the things about me, then it's no longer going to have my touch. Well, actually, you can create your own AI.
Yeah, you influence it.
Yeah, well, you influence, but you can also create your own AI. So
I agree.
I've got my own, like in my system in ChatGPT, I've got one for me. I've got one for my son to help him write scholarship applications.
Oh, great.
And then I've got another one for my other son for whatever else he wants to do, right? So what I've done is I've created these different tones, these different voices within mine. And anytime I want to do anything, it just automatically takes their tone, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
So I can just twist it.
Yeah.
So I think don't be afraid. Like just know that it's not going to replace you. I think that's the biggest thing.
And you know who the most afraid people are?
Attorneys.
100%.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things we're trying to fix with this firm is like let's learn how to keep the human intelligence as what's perceived, but empowered by the artificial intelligence.
Correct.
Yeah.
I think it is a tool that you can utilize as a supplement, not as a replacement.
No.
And I think that's the same for real estate or anything else that we do.
Yeah.
The other thing is that the prompt writing is probably the most important thing.
It's critical. Yeah.
If you learn how to write the prompts in AI, it'll change the game for you.
Right.
Your input, what you put into it, is going to really give you the best output. Like the more information you provide, like I have people that are like, rewrite this. And I'm like, well, how do you want it rewritten? What's the tone that you want to use?
Right.
Who's the individual that you, I mean, like, if you are, for instance, if you are negotiating something with someone, do you want to use the tone that Chris Voss would use in his book?
Maybe.
then indicate that.
Maybe not.
Like, I know, but
Yeah.
like which ones?
Right.
Indicate that. Like, is there something that you're specifically looking for? So there's like 6 tools, 6 things that you need in a prompt for AI. And the 6th thing that most people forget is to tell it to ask you questions to provide it more information so it can give you the best output.
That I love that. In fact, I'm so glad you said it that way, because I actually found a little while ago, I'm like, I started asking ChatGPT, I'm like, I want to create a prompt like this. Help me understand how to frame it.
Yeah.
And I'll actually ask it to give me a little bit more data.
Yeah.
But then, so how do you, on the back end, do you say,
don't be afraid, by the way, to get the $20 upgrade
no,
on ChatGPT.
no, I agree, yeah.
Because there is searchable GPTs that are in there.
Yeah, that's great.
You can go in and actually get, you can search all the other GPTs that they have available. And one of them is called Prompt Maker.
I've seen that one, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It will change
I should start using it.
your life.
Yeah.
It will change your life.
Okay.
You can tell it, for instance, so you usually have to tell ChatGPT who you are, right? Who are you acting like? What is it that you want? So for instance, if I'm writing a marketing script, I am the marketing specialist in real estate in Las Vegas. I want to give it that information, right? So who you are. You want to give it the restrictions. Like, do not break federal fair housing laws when you create this. And here's what they are. So you want to tell it what the restrictions are. You also want to give it some parameters of what you're expecting from it. You want it to write a MLS listing, description of a property. Then you want to give it the data. So it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, single story with a pool in a gated community. So you want to provide it with that information. And so you want to give it those, and then you want to say, hey, what else do you need to know in order to give me the best output for this particular task? And then it'll probably ask you, who's your audience, right? So it wants to know that in order to so is your audience a luxury buyer? Yeah. Right? Is it a luxury buyer? Is it a first-time home buyer? Because they're very different. Yeah. You market to them very differently. Yeah. So I'm just saying, in my field, this is how some of the questions that it asks. And then what is it that I'm looking for them to do? Is there a call to action? Like, do I want that to be sort of the beginning or the end or whatever? So, and then is there a specific tone that I want? Do I want it to be fun and funny? Do I want it to be professional? Do I want it to be read, good enough to be read by a 5th grader, right? Like, so that it's understandable to somebody who's in 5th grade,
100%.
Or do you want it to be for, somebody who's a little bit more complicated 100%. Or whatever, right? So it's going to ask you all of these questions. You give it the information, and then boom, it'll start.
Cool. That's so
cool.
cool.
You do that. If you do that to start with in the prompt maker, and you ask it to ask you the questions, then it creates the prompt for you, and then you take that prompt and you put it into ChatGPT.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
And now, game changer.
That's huge.
So I've taken all of my classes that I teach live, and for any agency classes, ethics classes, law and legislative classes, you name it, because there's so many categories. Any of those classes that I teach live, they're 3-hour classes. I'm now taking them and putting them online.
Smart.
And so I have I remember I was sitting down with one of my friends, and by the way, I geek out on AI stuff. And so like, if there's anybody that's like, yeah, I use AI, and I'm like, let's talk.
Yeah.
Because I want to sit down and geek out on this with you, because I want to learn more. What do you know that I don't know? What do I know that you don't know? And let's figure this out.
I have a friend you need to meet who actually sat on the board.
I would love this.
OpenAI. He's really cool. But,
yeah, I would love to. So that's like my jam, right? Mm-hmm. And then I take that information. So I was sitting down with somebody one day, and he's like, "What's the biggest thing that you're working on right now that you're just like, oh, it's daunting?" And I'm like, putting all my classes online. I've got to get all of my classes online, and then just sitting down and writing the curriculum for it, like to convert it from a 3-hour live where I'm actually doing interaction that takes up a lot of my time in the class, because it has to be 3 hours, to now putting it online where there's no interaction with the students.
That's so much harder.
But it's
so much harder.
But you still need to get them engaged, and you need to test their knowledge to make sure before you move on and they can pass the exam, blah, blah, blah. And he was just like, "Did you try putting in an AI?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't." And he was just like, "Let's try that." So now there's like there's a sticky on my computer, my laptop, my desktop, everywhere that says, "How can AI help me with this?" I don't do anything without saying, "How can AI help me with this?" And that's the first thing I go to.
I love that, because in the law, what I'll do, and we've been really trying to push the boundary here, because most firms have actually just outlawed it. And for obvious reasons. Like, you don't want
because it makes shit up. Sorry, did I say that? But it totally
does.
It makes shit up. And you're like, "Where did you get that
It
from?" They're like, "This website." And you're like, no, that doesn't exist.
That's
it
not
doesn't
there.
exist.
That's not real. Yeah.
Because it's what it's meant to do is create an output for you.
Yep.
Whether it's real or not. Now it's better, right?
Well,
because it deep searches, it goes on the web and blah,
it's
blah,
more
blah. So it's
methodical.
doing that. But sorry,
I agree.
continue.
No, but you're right.
So they've been outlawing it.
Yeah. Well, so they just have flat policies against it. In fact, I was just in a deposition the other day with someone, and they were like, "No, we have a rule that you can't even touch it. They won't even allow it on their computers." And I'm like, "Okay, that's like saying I don't want cars on the roads." Okay, I mean,
there's a lot of people that don't want that either.
True, true. But there's I mean, just the amount of just like you were talking about the travel where you can be in 3 states at once, right?
Yeah.
You're flying. With AI as opposed to just walking around on the ground, right?
Yeah.
So what's interesting though is AI's ChatGPT's terms and conditions actually say that there's, this is fascinating philosophically because it actually says there's no original source of truth, which I wholeheartly disagree with.
I didn't even know that.
Right, if you go.
Because nobody reads the terms and conditions, let's be real.
Yeah.
I mean, you do.
Yeah.
You're an attorney. It's kind of
well, another attorney told me this. Bryce Earl is the one who told me, really smart. But, and so we're looking at it, we're going, huh. And so it will make stuff up because it doesn't have an anchor. So that means the human input has to be the anchor.
Correct, which is why you'll never be replaced.
Right.
So I think that's the...
Boom.
Yes.
That was good right there. That was really
and
good.
with that, great show. Thank you.
No, it's true though. It's so
is,
true. Like
yeah.
we are the original creators and we have to bring the truth to the table. So, okay, I have another controversial for you. This is a little controversial.
Oh boy.
So there's a movement. There's a different two philosophies. One is on this idea of truth, that there's your truth and there's the truth. And I see it's almost a generational thing a little bit. I mean, I remember we had a couple people in class and this was a debate in the leadership group. This is a little debate.
I'm always right.
Well, no, for sure.
Okay.
You are always right.
Okay.
It wasn't between me and you. It was between some of the other participants.
Yeah.
It was your truth versus the truth. And for me, I'm like, no, there is the truth. And I understand the subjective element, and I understand that people have their own interpretation of how they see things. Like I'm experiencing this room differently than you are, right?
Yeah.
And I also feel like that there is truth. I like for me, I have to believe that there is an ultimate source of truth. As a lawyer, as a dad, as a human, I look at that and go, there is an ultimate eventual right and wrong. There is an ultimate eventual, this is the right way. We're all, as we evolve, we're evolving to an ultimate light or a truth or being. That's my belief set. What do you think about that?
So.
And you can disagree with me.
I disagree with you.
Okay, good.
I mean, I think, for instance, I think there is the truth. Like, the truth is there is a light shining in my face.
Yeah.
The truth is
I agree.
There is electricity.
Yeah.
The truth is you're wearing shoes on your feet.
100%.
So I think like things like that, yeah, there's the truth, right? When it comes to exactly what you said, like I'm perceiving this room differently than you're perceiving this room.
100%, yeah.
Is there the one truth in that? No, because your truth is different than mine and hers and his. And so I believe that.
But I don't think that's truth. That's my point. But keep going. I think that's perspective. That's perception. That's experience, right?
But isn't that what truth is?
No, and I get so careful about this because as a lawyer, the words are so valuable, right?
Yeah,
like
you're right.
You redefine things.
May versus should versus.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So, and that's where I get nervous about people using the truth to describe their perception or their experience or their understanding. Because to me, truth is independent. Now, the reason this is important is because in the age of
subjective.
it's subjective versus objective, right? Want versus need, right? That there are these.
Yeah.
This is what this means. The reason this is so important is because we've entered the age of illusion, and AI can make anything look like it's the truth,
right?
But it's not. So I think we need, if we're going to be that pilot that brings the truth to the table, we better know what the truth is.
So do you believe the Earth is flat or round?
Oh, for sure. For sure it's round. For sure. Are you a flatter?
Are you a flatter? It was funny because I
have a car wash guy who comes up to me. The world's flat, man. And he gives me evidence. He's such a cool guy. His name's Bobby.
Yeah, there's a whole.
I know. Yeah. But
anyways, no. Are you a flatter? No. I just wanted to know. I was like, wait a second. So do you believe? Yeah, I think that you're. Yes, there is the truth. I don't know but there's also my truth.
And I get that.
Yeah.
And I just guardian. I feel like a guardian of the word.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if we dilute the word, then all of a sudden,
I get it.
Objectivism versus subjectivism. But I love your point about how the AI can change your life. It can change everything.
Yeah.
And I love that you're reminding yourself
Yeah.
to use that tool.
But and the other thing is I think it also goes back to how I started with you, is that we all are transformative. Like we can,
We're evolving.
we're evolving
Yeah, yeah.
nonstop.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I believe in is that I want to educate myself. I want to be better every single day. I want to
Yes.
leave this world a better place than when
Yes.
I first got, when I first got here. I want to, like, there's so many things. And I think that with the tools that we have, I mean, are we destroying the planet? Probably. And, who knows?
We got to be careful. I mean,
have
we
to
should
be very,
guardian.
yeah.
We should be
So
guardians,
we
yeah.
just, and I think that the world is evolving, and sometimes we just have to evolve with it a little bit.
Yeah, I love that. Well, and as you evolve, you're doing it Cannonball style.
I am Cannonball styling it. Yeah, I am the Cannonball. That's
And so I love that.
That's
Thank
gonna be the title of this one.
Yeah, for
your podcast, the Cannonball.
the Cannonball, for sure.
Ripple effect.
Yeah, real effect. I love it. Vandana, thank you so much for being you.
Thank you.
And thank you for being here with us today. And hopefully, we'll just keep changing the world together.
Absolutely, love it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.